Hello and welcome to a new interview episode of the Retro Game Time Machine podcast. This week, Time Travelers, I'm interviewing Jeffrey Carroll from the Back Bedroom podcast. This is the beginning of a new series of shows that will be part of the Retro Game Time Machine. I'm reaching out to other podcasters, streamers, game devs, and friends to chat with and have our memories and conversations take us back in time. I am Mash the Newton, and joining me through a series of tubes is Jeffrey Carroll from the Back Bedroom podcast.
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Thanks so much for being here. This is awesome. I've really been looking forward to this.
Yeah, I have too. I've been super excited to do this. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I guess I definitely have a lot of questions. But the first one that I kind of want to start with before we get into, I guess, the meat and potatoes, so to speak, is tell me and the folks at home a bit about what you do, what your podcast is about.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So the Back Bedroom is just a podcast that I do. And I just talk kind of all things fun, everything I enjoy that I think other people enjoy. So video games, comics, we talk about the MCU a lot, because that's probably that and video games are probably the two bigger parts of the podcast. So it's just hanging out and having a good time.
Nice. I can attest to that. I've been listening to more episodes. I think I caught the first one or the first couple, like when you first started. Because when did you first start the podcast?
Oh my gosh, like 5 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
6. Yeah, it hasn't been long. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I could argue that 5 to 6 months of sticking to a thing feels like a long time.
I guess, well, if you look at it in like half a year, but it definitely, it feels like a long time, but I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's not that, I don't know.
Sure. I guess if we're looking at the age of the universe, then you've barely been doing this for like not even a nanosecond.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm pretty new at it. So yeah, I remember when I posted, I think my first episode or two, we had like a small interaction on Good Pods.
Yeah, that's right.
That's how I found your podcast, your and Andy's podcast, and
oh, amazing! I was actually wondering how you found Retro Game Time Machine.
Yeah,
cool.
Like I said, there was some small interaction on there. I saw the logo for it, and I was like, "Well, this looks cool," and been hooked ever since.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So what is something about you that most people familiar with your work maybe wouldn't know?
Okay, so this question, like a few of them I wrestled with, but this is one that I wrestled with probably the most. I guess the only two things I could think of was that at one point in time, I really wanted to become a writer. I've always loved writing, and I wanted, my dream was to write a children's book. So that, and to be a kindergarten teacher. I don't know. I just always felt like kind of shaping the future.
That's cool.
Kind of view of it. So yeah, those would probably be the only two things that that no one really knows about me yet.
Well, now I do, and whoever else listens to this.
Yeah,
no, that's really awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I just something, I guess the thought of the children's book, just kind of bringing joy, I guess, to, whoever reads it. And then my view of, like I said, the kindergarten teacher thing was just kind of having that imprint, I guess, on trying to create a better, more fun future.
That's great. Like, I love that answer.
That's just the first one, so it's only uphill from here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you have anything towards a teaching degree, but I think it might be easier and faster to write a children's book.
Probably. I don't have anything towards a teaching degree. It was just kind of a dream I had at one point in time that I've tried to implement into, the podcast and different things. Like, I can find other ways to.
Yeah. Well, great. Let's see. Next question. What made you start your podcast?
The reason why I started the Back Bedroom was because of my daughter. So she's almost 2 now. And when I had her, just kind of watching her play and learn, I kept thinking to myself, like, I would think about all the times I had growing up, like playing with toys, or, when I show her a new show or cartoon or something. And I think about all those times that I had with, like, me and my brother growing up. And I'm just like, this is so awesome. Like, it's so much fun showing her these things and getting to enjoy them again.
Yeah.
But then I got to thinking, like, I had some great experiences, and I know others growing up had, great experience. And I would like to have a place that everybody can kind of just talk about it and share those stories. And so that's what really pushed me into doing the Back Bedroom podcast.
Great. So kind of like wanting to, I guess, create a sense of community with other people around the same type of things.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me, is the community. Like, I love the thought of having that group of people where we're all enjoying, video games or whatever it is, but just having a group of like-minded people towards, enjoying what you enjoy. It's so much fun to talk about, discuss, and again, it's just watching her experience this stuff. I was like, man, like, I remember when I was seeing, the Ninja Turtles for the first time on TV or whatever, it's like, I want to share these stories, and just something there kind of lit a fire to create. So
awesome. That's great. Next question I've got here for you. What year did you begin your gaming journey?
Oh, so
I got a couple follow-ups.
Yeah. So I had to do some serious research here. So, all right. So, cause I had to look up dates and try to remember things.
Yeah.
All right. So I began my gaming journey. All right. So I was born in 88, and I remember being, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3. And we had a regular Nintendo in the house, but I was way too young to play it. So I would always watch, like, my mom or somebody play, like, the original Mario. And so I guess my first one in my journey began with the Sega Genesis. And I know I got that around probably 5 or 6.
Okay.
So I would say the Sega Genesis was the beginning and the first console.
Was really like what started to shape your young gamer mind.
Oh yeah, because once I got the Sega, like, it was mine, and I'm 3 years older than my younger brother, so I would always be the one to be gaming, and he was just the backseat, passenger, until he got a little older to game with me.
He was the unplugged second controller.
For sure.
It's like, no, that one's you.
No, you're good.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we know that, what was your first game?
All right. So the first game was, I feel like it came with Sonic, like the first, like Sonic 1, maybe, like the bundle that we got.
Okay.
Because we got it a Christmas a few years after it had been out, because my cousin had actually had one, and that's how I knew I wanted it. So the bundle we got came with Sonic. So the ones I wrote down were Sonic. There was an X-Men game for it, where you only could be like Wolverine, Cyclops, and Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, cool. And then, and this is a real deep dive. Hopefully you know this one. Cyborg Justice.
Oh, wait a second. I think I've seen it streamed.
It had the grooviest music you will ever hear in a video game. But you just picked a cyborg, and it was a side scroller, and it was absolutely ridiculous. But those were the 3 that I had.
Awesome. So those are your first 3. What was the first game that you actually wanted for yourself? Was it one of those 3?
No. The first one where I sat back and I saw it, and I was like, this is it. This is what I've got to have. My neighbor had a Super Nintendo, and he had Super Mario World. And I remember playing it for the first time, and it's all I thought about. I was like, I've got to have Super Mario World. And I used to I would beg. I'm like, just leave it at my house for like a weekend. Just let me play it for like a weekend. I was in the third grade. I remember this. I was in the third grade. And I wanted it so bad. So that was it. Super Mario World.
I mean, it's such a good game.
It's such a good game. You get the cape, Yoshi.
I know.
Apples.
I just saw somebody streaming that. Like, it was their first time ever playing it. And they're like, I don't know, they're probably in their late 20s, early 30s or something. Yeah. And it was so funny to see somebody playing it for the first time, because there were so many things that she wasn't doing just because she didn't know that they existed. So it's just wild to see somebody play that game now with like not having any of the history. But anyway, I digress.
I could not imagine, because you've got all the little hidden paths, that if you don't know to open them up in a level, you'll never see them or get to them.
Well, and like, I think at first she didn't know, like, she knew that she could fly up into the air, but didn't know like the whole like holding the cape and like, yes, exactly. Like kind of floating across the sky. Yeah. So it was really fun getting to see some of those like moments click.
Oh, wow.
Or when ultimately she'd be like, okay, chat, find it, like tell me what it is that I'm missing, and be like, oh my God, this is incredible.
Yeah. You got to get the key to unlock the door. It's such a great game. It is. And that was it. It's all I could think about.
Understandable. All right. So the next question I have for you: did you read any video game magazines growing up? And if so, which ones? And did you have a subscription?
Did I have a subscription? Okay. So no to the subscription. But my cousin, who he's 5 years older than me. And so he was always kind of like, I saw what he would have, and that would kind of, imprint towards me. So he had a subscription to PlayStation Magazine, PSM.
Okay.
And he would save just stacks of them. And, like every few months he would give me those. So I'm reading them like they're brand new, but it's talking about games that are probably a year old.
Did he ever give you the demo discs that went along with those?
The demo disc, he would leave, because he never used the console. He would never use the lid stickers for like the original PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
And he would only use some of the memory card stickers. So he would leave the stickers with it. So PlayStation Magazine was the one I read the most, and it's just kind of one that has always stuck with me. And Nintendo Power was right there with it. It was also one of my favorites. And I was going to ask you, I couldn't remember, but one of those magazines had like a color by number thing in the back of every issue. Was it Nintendo Power?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like that would make the most sense, but it's been a while since I've looked at a Nintendo Power.
I just remember it sticking out in my mind, like always going through and doing those first, and then going through the issue and reading everything. But those two are my top ones. And I'll get on eBay now and I'll find someone selling like a box of them for, like $5, and I buy them still. I have a stack of them. I absolutely love keeping them. I love looking at them. I would love to find a way to maybe not relaunch one of those, but like launch our own gaming magazine. It would sell well in 2022. People would love a video game magazine.
Are you aware of, or have you ever read Retro Gamer magazine?
No.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a modern retro focused video game magazine, Retro Gamer, they're based out of the UK, but you can also get digital episodes. Or not episodes. Oh man, this future. This the other day. I'm calling everything an episode. You can get issues digitally, and I get them on my iPad.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I'm sure there are other places as well.
I'll check that out.
But yeah, you can also get a subscription in print from them as well. The magazine's it's at least the physical version of the magazine. Whenever I would pick it up at my local bookstore before they stopped carrying it, because I think I was the only one buying it. I think issues went for like $10.
Oh wow!
So Part of it was because of the import.
Yeah,
But
bringing it over.
anyway, yeah, it's a cool magazine. At least if you just want to read one that's
I'll have to
about,
check that out for sure.
they also periodically digitally will do like, hey, buy our entire back catalog of magazines digitally for $50.
Oh yeah,
So, and they've been
I
around for
love
a
it.
number of years.
Yeah, I love it. Just I remember, like I said, I remember sitting up, and the PSM magazines would have like little comments at the bottom from like different editors and writers and people writing in, and man, it was just so much fun. I loved them.
Yeah, sadly, I recycle like I took so many gaming magazines to a recycling facility
Oh
like
my gosh.
10 years ago.
Oh
A
wow.
lot of my, like, I kept some, but I
Mm.
was like, I just need to get rid of this
Yeah, what are
stuff.
you gonna do with them? Yeah.
And like, of course, like they're, people are buying them up.
Oh yeah.
Um, but also, I guess one other one other resource on this particular topic for you and for other folks listening at home. Um, so Video Game History Foundation, whether you're familiar with them or not,
So I did find them last night. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
you can buy a blind box of gaming magazines from them because basically
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
people send in magazines for them to scan because they're all about video game like history
Like
preservation.
keeping it. Yeah.
So once they're done completely scanning the magazines, they then sell them in blind box bundles to anyone who just wants to get a random box filled with video game magazines. So
Awesome. I will definitely
that
check.
is a thing.
I somehow came across them last night. And wow, I didn't see that, but I will definitely look into that.
Yeah, no, they're cool. I'd like to. I don't know. I'd like to do something to be involved with them somehow
Yeah.
because I feel passionate about this stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay. Next question. What was the first gaming console and or device that you bought with your own money?
So this one hurts me, not because I bought it and had it for so long, but for some reason, I can't remember what happened. But I sold it, and I don't know why I did, and it breaks my heart every time I think about it. But the first one that I actually bought with my money, I had a job, saved up, was a Nintendo 3DS XL Pikachu edition. So my local GameStop only got like two of them. And I remember going in, I reserved it, I got one. It came in the yellow box, and I kept the box, I kept everything. Even up until when I sold it, I had the box where it had everything original, and I loved it. But that was the first one that I bought with my actual money that I had to save up for.
Yeah, it always stings when you get rid of a system or a handheld, and then you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
No, because even if just having it for me would be everything, but they're being resold now for like thousands. But
it's insane. Yeah. Like, don't even get me started on
I know.
The retro game market right now. It's nuts.
It is. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, that one, man, I kick myself every time I think about it.
Well, now you'll probably never do that again.
Live and learn, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that I ever sold off when I was a kid, like I've regretted 100% of it. So.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Did you have video rental stores nearby, and did you rent games when you were growing up?
Yes and yes. Video game rental was a huge part of my life growing up. It was, so we had a movie gallery really close because we lived in a really small town. So we had a movie gallery that was really close, and then we had a Blockbuster and a Hollywood Video that was probably within 10 or 15 minutes probably about 15 minutes of the house. Because I know you have some follow-up questions to this one, so more of my answer will go with that.
Yeah. So any standout memories from the video rental experience?
So yeah, to continue what I was saying, it was like a tradition. It was part of my life growing up. It was every Friday when we got out of school, my mom would get off of work, and every Friday we always got takeout, whether it was pizza, McDonald's, whatever. We always got takeout on Friday night, and we always got to go to the video store on Friday night.
Yeah, it's a good Friday.
It was always part of it. Me and my brother both got to get a game. And so we would get together, and it'd be like, all right, last week I got this, so you have to get this week so that I can get this, and we'll have, So we would always strategize. It was just such a big deal. It's something that I talked about on the back bedroom. It comes up. Those memories are so fantastic.
Yeah, I miss going and renting a game on Friday night.
It's so great.
Getting some pizza.
Yes.
Playing an arcade game at the pizza place. All right, I've got a couple other follow-ups.
Yes.
Is there a game that you were excited to rent and then immediately regretted it after playing it when you got it home?
So as badly as I wanted to think of one, I honestly couldn't. I know that there's probably a handful.
Hey, that's great.
There was probably a million because, like I said, we'd go every Friday. And, statistically, there's no way I was picking winners every single time.
Sure.
But
but I'm glad to hear that nothing has traumatized you.
The good outweighs the bad, right? Yeah. The good ones
it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, they all outweigh the bad. So I couldn't think of any.
Let's see. And also, last follow-up to the video game rental stuff. Any games you bought after being surprised at how good it was when you rented it?
So, yeah, 100%. Let me make sure I didn't write another one down. Okay, yeah. So, Vigilante 8 was the one that I wrote down. And because we had Twisted Metal, we were big Twisted Metal fans growing up. 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. And so we went to the movie store one Friday night and we saw Vigilante 8 and we were like, what is this? And it was, I think on the back of the box, it even called it like a Twisted Metal something. Like it was, And so we got it home and fell in love with the characters, the cars. So we immediately had to have Vigilante 8.
What was that on the original PlayStation?
So that was on PlayStation, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was on the original PlayStation. And not long after that, we rented Road Trip, which was another car battle system that we fell in love with as well. I don't think we ever got that one, but we definitely bought Vigilante 8.
Nice.
It was a fun.
Sorry.
No. It was good.
All right. Next question. So when you were growing up, were you a loyalist to any particular platform?
Yeah. I was a hardcore PlayStation person because I got the PlayStation 1 and then the 2. And I remember getting the 2. It was such a big deal because the R2L2 had a small amount of whatever motion in them or something, the rumble pack and Blu-ray and all that. And then got PlayStation 3. And then after that, my brother had started getting Xbox. So he got the original Xbox. So I was getting PlayStations, he was getting Xbox. And the 360 came out for him. And I just saw how much fun he was having with Halo and everything else. And I was like, all I have for this is Resistance 2 or Resistance 3. Like, I don't care about this. And so I swapped over to Xbox, and I was a hardcore Xbox fan for a long time until late in the PlayStation 4's life. And now I'm just kind of neutral. I don't care. I just want to play video games.
Yeah. So. And I mean, so many of the games are on
everything now.
Yeah, on everything anyway. But yeah, that 360 era is also what grabbed me.
Dude,
between those two systems, I had no interest in either of them that much, but I was but I need to play Rock Band. So
it was a Halo. It was everything. I was like, I've got to have a 360.
That was such a great era of gaming.
It was.
All right. Next question. Do you have an all-time favorite game or gaming franchise?
So gaming franchise, I kind of struggled with a little bit because I growing up, I was a huge college football fan. So the NCAA franchise was one that I got every year. I went to the midnight releases of them and everything. But I don't know. I didn't feel right saying that one because it's not current anymore. Hopefully,
Yeah,
maybe
what
we're
the
going to be getting a new one.
2014, I think, was the last one,
Yeah.
and now it's incredibly expensive on the Xbox 360.
Oh
And I
yeah,
mean,
and
I'm sure
have you
anywhere else
seen they
too.
keep the rosters updated? They've added graphically, they've boosted it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah, there's
haven't
a
seen
whole
that.
team of like modders who have like kept it going, and
Wow,
you
that's
download.
awesome.
Oh, it's really really cool what they've done. So I didn't feel great about including that one. So I put God of War,
Okay.
just because of the old games, and then currently what we're about to get with the 2008 version, and then leading into Ragnarok.
Yes, and that reminds me, I still have to play. So I've not really played the God of War games. I played a
Oh,
little. I played a little bit of one on the PSP. Like there's a PSP
yeah.
God of War game
Was
that I
that
played a little bit
Olympus,
on
like
my
Chains of Olympus or Gods of Olympus or something?
possibly.
Yeah.
I think there were 2 or 3 PSP games, and I've
Mm.
played through I think at least half of one on the Vita. But
So
that's one that I'm like I really like. I own God of War for the
mm.
PS4. I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah, we've talked about this in your streams. You've got to play it. It's
Yeah.
such a great game.
Now it looks
Um,
good.
it is. It's
It's in my backlog somewhere.
it's so good. So as far as franchise, that's what I went with. But favorite game all time, hands down, without a question, Paper Mario.
Yeah.
I know it's. Oh yeah, I know it's come up a
Okay.
few times recently on your stream.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for you to play it.
Okay.
I'm to the point where I'm like, I will take off work just to stay at home to watch you play it. I love it.
Well, you
It's
can always watch the VOD. You don't have to.
I'll do it all, man. I'll do it all. This game. So if I can just interject real quick. So
Please do.
the weather is. I know we talked about it a little yesterday. That's why the lighting in this room is changing on me a little bit. So we're supposed to have some pretty bad weather here in a minute. But yeah, Paper Mario is. I love it. It's hands down my favorite game of all time. So that's it, and I cannot wait for you to play it. Cannot wait.
I need to figure out whatever issue I'm having with my
My
N64
gosh, yeah.
right now, since it was power cycling again yesterday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but once I figure that out, that's that might be the next non-retro game time machine game that I'm going to stream. I've already kind of earmarked it because you're not the only one that's been like, come on, play this. It's so good.
It needs to be an episode of retro game time. I mean, it's so great. And as much as you enjoyed Super Mario RPG,
Oh my God, it was so good.
Okay, well, this takes it to 1,000. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Next question. Have your gaming tastes changed over the years? And if yes, how?
Yeah, I think I'm just more relaxed. Kind of like what I said a minute ago. Like, I just want to play video games. Like, with having work and then a daughter, and our little family that we do everything together. When I get game time, like, I don't have time to be, climbing the leaderboards and stuff like that. Like, I want to play, now, back in the 360 days when I put in Halo, like, I was going to win or I wasn't playing, like,
yeah,
I was turning it off if I lost. But now I just want to hang out and play. Now, I won't lie, I've been getting back into Apex Legends a little bit lately.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
It brings a competitiveness out every once in a while, but other than that, I'm just trying to play video games.
Nice. Yeah, those battle royale games, man. It's like they can be super fun and they have their like really intense moments.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing for me sometimes is like it just takes sometimes so long before anything happens.
Yeah.
or it takes so long and then you just die really quick. Just like you're like, how did what? Where? I just spent 15 minutes. No.
Yeah. That's the cool thing with Apex. Like the war zone and stuff like that. To load in, it's like 10 minutes. Then you die immediately and it's another 15 minutes for you. Apex is very quick. It's like reload. You can get in and out. And I've gotten to the point now where I hot drop where everybody else is, because I'm either gonna do this now or let me get into my next game.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it.
Yeah. So.
All right. Next question I've got for you. How has gaming influenced your life?
So I think with gaming, it helped shape me, I guess, into who I am, just in the sense that I've always been a very social person. When I was in school, always got F's in conduct because I just wanted to talk all the time. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to talk. I want to have fun. And when gaming was always fun when I was younger because we would always talk about it. Me and my brother, it was always something that we were super into and always talked about. And then once online gaming, I experienced that for the first time. Like now I get to put a headset on, sit in the room, and I can talk to anybody around the country all night while playing, whatever. It just, I think it helped with me being so social, and always kind of looking for that community, kind of like what we talked about earlier. I think it's a really positive impact.
Awesome. What is your favorite controller pre 360 and PS3 era?
So I might catch some heat for this because I don't think a lot of people like it, but I like the N64 controller.
I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's that bad. I've looked online and people don't like it.
Oh yeah, no. It's funny. I know that I've ripped on it, but thinking about how much N64 I've played recently, it's not that bad. Like, I don't know, but I think it's also because I have that attached specifically to the games that I've been playing, and it feels natural to be playing those games that way.
Yeah.
But I don't, at least personally, I wouldn't put it at the top of my own list, but I don't think that it deserves all the heat that it gets.
So if we're talking pre 360 and pre PS3, then where would you go?
Oh man. How the turntables. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the SNES controller. This is not really an answer because I'm giving three things now. I also really love the 6-button Genesis controller and the Saturn controller.
Never had a Saturn.
The Saturn controller is basic. Well, the second iteration of the Saturn controller. The first one, I don't like at all. Second one is great because it just feels like a slightly larger, slightly more comfortable version of the 6-button Genesis controller, and it has 2 trigger buttons on the top.
Oh, nice. The 6-button Genesis was good. And to be fair, my second one, I wrote N64 runner-up was Super Nintendo controller for me. It is a good one.
You can't go wrong with the SNES controller.
And if we're rounding out 3, GameCube would be number. Well, I don't know. That wasn't pre, what it? But,
no, it is.
Was that pre?
Yeah, because it's the same generation as PS2 and the original Xbox.
But yeah, the 64, man, it's perfect. It's weird. You can hold it like center right. You got that. Then you can always open it up. But boom, Z button on the back. Yeah,
it's been funny as I've been playing some more N64 games lately. Because I feel like for the longest time I didn't go back to that system for whatever reason. But I've tried using the D-pad on a lot of things. It just doesn't register. It's like the D-pad doesn't exist for most things.
Really.
I get it, but it's just funny to see how it's like they treat it like a lot of devs treat it like it didn't exist. It's like, these are not mapped. Don't even touch these.
Yeah, don't worry about this.
L button, why are you going to use that? You can't even use the D-pad.
Yeah.
All right. Next question I've got here for you. Are there any games that you appreciate now that you did not appreciate when you were younger?
Yeah, RPGs. Just RPGs in general. I'll probably hear some sirens. Like I said, I've got
a little bit. That's fine.
And stuff going on.
That is wild. That is wild to my brain. That there are tornado warnings. They're just like, that just happens.
That's pretty much the outlook for all of today. But yeah, RPGs, Final Fantasy, I remember having or renting one, and just within a few minutes, I was like, take this thing out.
Yeah.
When I was younger. But now I can really get into them and I enjoy them. But RPGs, 100%.
Yep. I feel you there. All right. Next question I've got. Favorite gaming mascot? Question mark.
Fun
Wait,
one.
what?
This is a fun one. This was a
fun
one. Big fun one. Crash Bandicoot. I think he is the gaming mascot. He was PlayStation forever.
Oh, yeah.
He was everywhere. I know during your streams you sometimes play the commercials with Crash.
Yeah, I love those
so
Crash
funny.
Bandicoot commercials.
The old commercials are hilarious. He was at Pizza Hut everywhere. He was on every demo disc that was ever created. A Crash Bandicoot game is on it. And the amount of time that we put into the original CTR Crash Team Racing would probably be in my top, 10 games time-wise that we've put into. So I think Crash Bandicoot is the video game mascot.
Awesome. That's I wonder, I'm trying to think ahead to all the people that I hopefully will interview for this, and I wonder how often Crash is going to come up.
Oh, that's going to be,
I can already,
cool thing to have, yeah.
I can already kind of guess the one for the next person that I'm going to be interviewing, because he's a big Sega guy. So,
well, let me say this, and just a little plug-a-roo type thing.
Yeah.
My next episode, I'm doing top 10 video game characters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because now I'm curious who would even make up your list, but
it's
you leave us in
list.
suspense.
Yeah.
Give us the reason to go and listen.
Yep.
All right. So next question I have, do you have a favorite item from your game collection?
Yeah, it is Nintendo 64. It's a purple translucent Nintendo 64. I have and some games that came with or that so my brother gave it to me as a birthday present a few years back because again it was so key in our childhood. During the summer, Smash Brothers on the hardest difficulty, everybody would have 99 lives on the Star Fox ship. And we would play for hours and hours and hours. So the N64, and I have Paper Mario, Mario Golf, Pokemon Snap and Stadium, and a few wrestling games with it. And it's my most prized possession that I have. I still have it hooked up. I play it every once in a while.
Nice.
And I can't wait for my daughter to be a little older to let her play with it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think that'll be great.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking a little bit about some N64 wrestling games when I was streaming the other day.
Yeah, I have a few of those. He even found a few of the games. He even found them in the original boxes. So like Paper Mario and Pokemon Snap or Pokemon Stadium are in the original N64 game box. And he even found a strategy guide for Mario Golf or something like that.
That's cool.
Really, yeah, so
I love those old strategy guides.
Yeah, man. Yeah, love them.
All right, next question. If you could go back in time to the release day of any console or game, which would it be and why?
This was the most fun question. Thank you so much for asking it.
Of course.
Just bringing these memories back for me, it's everything to me. So again, thank you for all these great questions. So this one, easy. Halo 3.
Oh, that was
release
a
day. we did the midnight launch. My brother got the legendary edition that came with the helmet,
the cat helmet,
with the big Master Chief helmet. Yeah,
but say like the one that can fit a cat or fit a person.
Oh no, a big cat, a small person.
Okay,
it's the one that's kind of like it's a little bit bigger. It's on a stand.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty. Yeah. Man, that I remember that release. The line was like down the block. Everybody's out there yelling. There was one dude who was going down the line, passing his gamer tag out, saying,
Nice.
come 1v1 me, as soon as we get this,
Oh
come
my
play.
God.
Like, he was so ready. And it was so much fun. We were super early because he had gotten the Legendary Edition, so he was real early in line. When we got it, I was driving at the time. Once we got back in the car, he pulled the helmet out, and we just rode around the parking lot with people still in line, and we were just like waving the helmet at everybody. So,
oh my God.
Halo 3, I would go back there at least once a week just to relive that.
Yeah, that was a fun launch. I did a midnight launch as well, and I got whatever the steel book edition of the game was,
Okay, yeah.
and still have it on my shelf that you can't see above my head.
Came with the
Yeah,
those were good.
So now, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to ask you, did you get Crackdown so that you could get beta access to Halo 3?
I was trying to, because when I started looking stuff about it, we had Crackdown. We loved it. But I don't remember if we got into the beta for Halo. I don't remember that.
Well, at least if you owned Crackdown before Halo 3 launched, it gave you beta access, but I think it was a timed beta. I think it was like maybe for a week or two, or there might have been multiple rounds. I can't remember. I'm just trying to dust those memories off.
Pull it back from.
Yeah, I think I can't remember if I said it on stream or if I've said it on a podcast. I feel like I was one of the only people that bought Crackdown because I wanted Crackdown, and then the benefit was I also got to play the Halo beta, where I feel like a lot of people bought it because they wanted to play the Halo beta.
But Crackdown was so much fun. We played that. We played that a ton as well. It's
so much fun.
Open world. You're running and jumping and becoming a super agent.
Yeah, it's a superhero simulator. You get to throw cars at bad guys. So come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We played that like crazy. I don't remember the beta, but I do remember Crackdown.
Okay. Yeah. Such a good game.
It was.
Okay, next question. What is your favorite thing in gaming right now? Now, this could be a game, a genre, hardware, different trends, etc. It can be whatever you want it to be.
So, I as I was writing, I like to write jokes and stuff to myself. So the first thing I wrote down was Battle Royale, LOL. Kidding. I don't really like Battle Royals, but for some reason I thought it'd be funny. And another thing I wrote down that I guess the new trend of this like free DLC or free add-ons and all this stuff that they add. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, they're just selling me an incomplete game. And I'm being happy about getting the extra, stuff. I don't know. So I ended up going with the controller, all the controller improvements and stuff. The PS5 controller is so cool, it's a nice with controller. The feedback and all that. So I think that's my favorite part of gaming now is just what they do now with the controller stuff.
Yeah, the controllers are so much better. Just general comfort, the feeling, the everything that you get
everything
out
into
of
it now. What it does is unreal. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's funny. I think I was walking around on the street near where I live recently, and I overheard somebody talking about how they were annoyed that it cost them $70 to buy a new controller for their PS5. And I'm like, there's so much technology in these now.
What you're buying is crazy.
I get it from if we go back to the PS2 era and everything's still wired and whatever. It's maybe controllers were a little more than I would have wanted to spend then.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily want to spend $70 on a controller now, but I feel like it's a lot more justified. It's a little more nowadays.
Justified, right? Yeah. Because with the 5, you get the Astros Playroom, and it is made to just demo the controller. It's some of the coolest stuff with the different the vibrations in different parts of the controller and all the haptic feel, just the way the triggers, it's unreal.
Yeah, I still need to play a PS5 sometime. I still have not done that. I have used a DualSense controller on PC. And it's a nice controller.
It's very nice. Yeah.
But
it's comfortable.
Yeah, still have not done anything with a PS5. One day, maybe when they get that slim revision.
It's coming. It's coming.
All right. If you could go back in time to change one thing in gaming history, what would it be?
Hopefully this one you can. All right. So give me the game. I would like to go back in time and get the game that Cliff Bleszinski,
Yeah.
told us about what Fortnite was supposed to be. Do you remember?
So
Vaguely remember.
So I bought Fortnite before it was Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Like the Save the World edition of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I bought that and I thought it was fun, but there was nobody playing it. So I didn't really play it. And then all of a sudden they launched that free Battle Royale update and then it blew up and I was like, what the hell is Battle Royale? Like, I feel like an old man. I don't like this.
I remember, I don't remember if it was like an E3. I feel like it was like an E3. It was something like that where he came out and he talked about it. He like showed a teaser of it and started talking about what it was going to be. Like you were going to have to build your forts up and it games like that, like the Gears of War Horde mode, like forging and setting up, like love that stuff. So when he comes out talking about a game dedicated to it, we were all super excited. And then,
I like Horde mode stuff.
Yeah. And then, like you said, it came out and that quickly changed.
Yeah, it did not do well.
Yeah. So I would like to go back and see what it was. Maybe something happened there. Cause I know he gave up control pretty quickly, like, before it launched or something. So I don't know. I would just like to know what kind of happened there.
Yeah. See the realized vision.
Yeah.
Before it was changed.
He was everywhere in video games.
Yeah.
In like the early 2000s. I mean, he was everywhere. He was everything. So thought it would just be interesting to see.
Yeah. And I love me some Gears of War.
Oh, such a good games.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Next question. What 3 games would you recommend to my audience to play?
All right. So Paper Mario is number 1 on my list.
I figured after hearing about it a little bit ago.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, do I put it? Because I know he's about to play it. But then I was you know what? I'm going to put it because everybody needs to go play it.
Yes.
So whoever sees this or listens to it, go play Paper Mario. They've got it on the Switch online expansion now.
I know.
Go find you an N64. Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I feel like that's going to be the way that most folks nowadays will probably play it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Number 2 for me is The Witcher 3. If you are worried about not playing the first or second one, it's perfectly fine. Witcher 3 does a fantastic job of catching you up, and it's a very self-contained story. I think it's one of the best RPGs out there. It's that and Paper Mario for me. It's always 1A, 1B. For me, number 3, I could not settle on one. Because God of War 2018 would be up there for me.
Okay.
There's so many. I'll go with God of War 2018.
Okay.
I think that story is really, really great. And then if you just like open world exploration, it's awesome. If you like Norse mythology or any mythology, it's great at that. The characters, the acting, the voice acting, everything. That's it. Those are my top 3. Paper Mario and Witcher 3 are definitely like a tier above everybody else. So.
Yeah, I sadly have not ever completed The Witcher 3. I did put a ton of time into it. On my PS4, and then I fell off of it. I think because of playing probably from playing Overwatch with friends when that first came out, and I was playing that on PS4.
Yeah,
and then so much time had passed, and I tried to go back to The Witcher 3, and was like, I don't remember how to fight. I don't remember what's going on.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not playing this now. So it's kind of a bummer.
The life of
because it was so good.
Gamer. It is. It's so good, and the DLCs could have been sold as standalone games, and they could have charged me $60 for both of them, and I would have happily paid it. And I mean, a lot of people feel that with the Blood and Wine DLC. It is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember there was Blood and Wine, and I don't remember the name of the other one.
Hearts of Stone is the other shorter one. But the Blood and Wine is, I mean, it's as big as some smaller games now. I mean, the content that it adds, really, really good. Really good. If you have the time, I know it's a long game.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, I'm intimidated by games that are that big. I say that recently starting Dying Light 2, and like hearing that can be a 500-hour game if you want it to be. And I'm like, I don't want it to be a 500-hour game.
I don't have 500 hours. Like, where do I?
Like, I don't have 500 hours to dedicate to one single player game.
No, I also
I also say that wondering how many hours I've dedicated to Rock Band 4.
We all have our games that you dumped on.
I know.
That's what we do. We look at a game, we're like, I don't have the time for this. And then you turn to, whatever that you've played forever.
I've probably put that amount of time into Overwatch also, if I'm being honest with myself.
It's what we do as gamers. It's what we do.
Yeah. Just, you find time. You make time somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it. I have a playthrough on it, and I play it like once or twice a week, boot it up for like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and I just slowly progress through. Love it. Love it. Great game.
All right. Well, one final question for you. Mm-hmm. Where can all these fine people listening find you in the series of tubes, which that's the internet in case people don't get the joke? There was a senator that said that the internet is not a truck that you can just dump things on. It's a series of tubes. So if I haven't explained that before, there you go. There's the first one. Somebody did recently ask me, like, what are you talking about?
Yes. So I've recommended y'all's podcast to people, and they were always like, what is this? What is a tube? I was like, just keep listening. You'll figure it out.
Oh my
God, when I saw this question on the bottom as the last question, I was like, oh, fantastic. So where you can find me is Twitter, I guess, would be the main one, and that's at the Back Bedroom. I just uploaded my first video to YouTube like a week ago, and I'm going to start doing some stuff there. So YouTube, and that's the Back Bedroom. I have an Instagram, and it's the Back Bedroom Podcast, and hopefully a Tumblr coming soon, just so I can kind of write and collect some thoughts in case you like reading stuff. So
cool. Also, to everyone listening, I'm going to make sure that all of those links are here in the show notes. So you don't have to go remembering anything. You can just tap, and then magically, with the power of technology and the internet, you can just see those things with your face.
Right there. That's awesome. And if I can just say to you real quick, again, I know I talked about it at the beginning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course.
And everything. This was, just answering the questions and and doing everything was so much fun and so cool. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I really thanks for taking the time to join me and answer my questions about old video game stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll take us on out of here. So again, everyone, you can find the Back Bedroom Podcast everywhere that you find podcasts. You can also check out the YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, the upcoming Tumblr. Also, again, I'm going to have links posted to all of that here in the show notes. Also, these interview episodes are also hosted in video format of the Retro Game Time Machine YouTube channel. So if you're not already watching this, you can go check this out. You can see our faces when we're saying things. Head on over there and check it out, and don't forget to subscribe. And again, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the show. We know there are a lot of podcast options out there, and we appreciate you taking the time to put our words in your ears, faces in your eyes. It really does mean a lot. You can also check out our website at www.retrogametimemachine.com, and you can subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, and many other podcasting applications. You can join us on Discord, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can also support us for the $2 and $5 tiers on Patreon. And may your video games be fun. Bye for now.